Good afternoon, fourth graders. Today we're going to look at how to solve multi-step word problems using multiplication. So the first type of problem we'll look at is the problems that just have the needed information. These are the simpler problems, and if you look at this example, it says a school with 237 students is raising money for new PE equipment. If every student donates $6, how much money is donated? So in this case, we have to ask ourselves, how many numbers are in this word problem? Well, I see that we have the number 237 and the number $6. Then I want to ask myself, what question is the problem asking? And it's asking me how much money is donated is the question. So how can we figure out how much money was donated? Well, we only need two numbers to solve this problem. We can take the number 237 and multiply it times 6 to get our answer. So in this word problem, we're given the two numbers, and we need both numbers to solve the word problem. It contains only the information needed to solve the problem. Sometimes, boys and girls, a problem has too much information. In this case, it says Miss Sharp's class had a pie sale to raise money for gym equipment. The class sold 43 pies for $7 each. In all, 132 people came to the sale. How much money did the class raise? So in this case, how can we figure out how much the class raised, since this is what the problem is asking? We want to focus on that question. And the way we would do this is by thinking about what numbers are needed to solve the problem. Well, if we're trying to figure out how much money they raised, we need to know how many pies they sold. You can see they sold 43 pies. And it was for $7 each. Whenever I have each with a period, I know that's multiplication. So 43 times 7 would be the equation. Now, we have to think about what information did we not need to solve this. Well, if I'm trying to find out how much money the class raised, I do not need this information about there being 132 people coming to the sale. The number of people who came to the pie sale does not help us find out how much the class raised, how much money the class raised. You can, just like you can have a problem with too much information, you can also have a problem with too little information. In this case, we have Mr. Schwartz's class had a 50-lap walkathon to raise money for gym equipment. Each student in the class found a business to sponsor them at $2 per lap. How much money did the class raise? So again, we're trying to find how much money. We always want to look at what are we trying to find? How much money did the class raise? In this case, we need to know the amount of money that they're sponsored, which we have been given. We know they've been sponsored with $2 per lap for each student, but we don't have everything that we need to solve this because we still don't know how many students there are in the class in order to multiply by the $2 that they each received for their laps. So we know they're doing a 50-lap walk, but we don't know how many students in the class actually participated in the walkathon. So we are missing this information. We don't know the number of students. So we're missing the students in the class. Okay. So we would say this problem cannot be solved. Okay, and finally we have this example of a word problem with a hidden question. This says, Mrs. Fields bought 4 boxes of pepperoni pizza with 8 slices in each box. She bought 3 boxes of cheese pizza with 16 slices in each box. how many more slices of cheese pizza did she buy? So we have to ask ourselves, what is the problem about here? And we would say, well, it's about the pizza, the boxes of pizza. What question is the problem asking? Well, it's asking us, how many more slices of cheese pizza did she buy? How can we figure out how many slices of cheese pizza Mrs. Fields bought? Well, we can look for the cheese, which is here, and we know that she bought 3 boxes and they each had 16 slices, so we'll need to multiply 3 times 16 to figure out how many slices of cheese pizza she bought. So I'll give you a minute to think about what the answer is for that cheese pizza, this equation. What is 3 times 16? And then I want you to think about, is this the answer? If you said 48, is that the answer to this problem? Well, I would have to say no, because it's saying how many more slices of cheese pizza did she buy? So there's a hidden question here that we still need to figure out before we can solve this. We need to know, in order to find out how many more slices of cheese, we need to know how many slices of pepperoni she actually bought. So the pepperoni is up here, and I can see that she bought 4 boxes of pepperoni with 8 slices in each. So I will need to multiply that hidden question, 4 times 8, to figure out the pepperoni, which gives me 32. So do we have the answer to the question now? It can't be 48 and 32. We need to subtract 32 from 48 in order to figure out how many more slices of cheese she bought. So I know 8 minus 2 is 6, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So it looks like she bought 16 more slices of cheese pizza. Okay, so that would be our answer. Okay. Okay, so for the last part of our lesson today, boys and girls, we're going to read this word problem. It says, John bought 10 items at a sporting goods store. He bought 2 footballs for $8 each and 3 basketballs for $10 each. He paid $6 for a new pair of socks. How much did the footballs and basketballs cost? So now I want you to try to figure out, what type of problem is this? Is this a problem with too much information? Is there too little information? Or is there maybe perhaps a hidden question here? I want you to go ahead and mark what you think the answer is, which problem type, and then I'm going to ask you to complete a few steps. So think of it as a step-by-step type of problem. You're going to answer those, and then I will see you in class or at school tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and here's a little comic strip for all your hard work in watching the video.